When we talk about real world assets on blockchain, we are in front probably of the biggest revolution that cryptos have ever seen. And I'm not over exaggerating that just because we are on YouTube and I need to do a more sensational title. That's not the point, guys. It has been at least 1 year and a half that I'm talking about a real world asset, and this could change everything. Why? Simply because for the first time, the yield that is produced on blockchain is not just coming from some artificials from a DeFi protocol that's minting a new token and so on. But the yield, it is real. And it is something that is recognized as real, not only real, but in some cases even risk-free, and that's incredible, by the TradFi, by the real world. So it's not anymore, guys, that you are just crypto guys. Why are you doing that thing? It doesn't have any kind of value. Why should you use your stuff? Well, right now we have the answer. We can answer, guys. We can provide you the same kind of yield, but in a much easier way and more efficient way, the same yield, probably even better, that you are getting and that you are just pursuing into the real world. Yes, your T-bills, your bonds from the United States are now on blockchain, and they are giving you the same or even more, and we'll explain to you why that even more yield that you are getting into the real world. And that's something that is changing everything. And in this video, I want to show you what are the alternatives and which is the mood, the way that you should face this revolution and how it can affect the whole DeFi market. Before to start, guys, let me say that this channel is about educational content. Nothing has to be intended as financial advice. If you want to invest in anything, that's super fine, but be aware of what you are doing. So do your own research. And again, guys, awareness is the key. You can do whatever you want, but the more you're aware of what you do, the better your decisions will be. And if you want to know more about DeFi talks and what we do, feel free to check out all our links into the description below. Plus, guys, don't forget to leave us a big thumbs up and leave a comment to the comment section below, because that's the best way if you want to support us, and it's a big help also for the algorithm of YouTube, and I will be so grateful if you leave a thumbs up and drop a comment. I want to start by sharing this chart. As you can see, this is the TVL, so the amount of value is locked into the DeFi. And as you can see, we had this big peak until the end of 2022, and after that it has been decreasing steadily. And we didn't have that kind of recovery that, for example, we have seen into the price of Bitcoin and so on. Why? Well, mainly because if we have to be honest, when we have a risk-free asset like the T-bill, the treasury bonds from the United States that are giving you 5%, please tell me for which reason you should start using a DeFi protocol that maybe is giving you 3% or maybe even 10%, but with a risk of an hack, the risk of losing your keys, and so on. Why? You should embrace the risk for less rewards while we are having the par excellence investment, free risk investment, just that is offering you more yield, 5% is right now. Well, that's the reason why we have seen this big decreasing curve, and it's not stopping. The only way to stop is to start offering a yield that is safe, close to the same level of safety, that is a higher yield or more efficient. And that's exactly what is happening right now. I want to add also another thing. When we come about real world asset and treasury bills, this is something that it is not a completely new idea. Think about for a second, which is one of the most famous stable coins. We are talking about USDT. USDT is backed by mainly T-bills, bonds from the United States. The same is about USDC. So what's the reality is that right now, the issuer, Tether, it is earning a lot. And as you can see, hit a record in the second quarter. And it's not about the usage that USDT is having. Yes, it is increasing, and that's perfectly fine and good for Tether. But the main point is that they are earning a lot just receiving the yield that is coming from the T-bills, from the treasury bonds that they are having to back the stablecoin. I'm saying that because when we talk about bringing on blockchain real world asset and US bonds. It's not something new. It is something that was already happening because in the moment when you were using USDT, you were, even if just indirectly, literally using something that is backed by a real world asset and some yield. But the point is that the whole yield wasn't going into the blockchain ecosystem, was just remaining into the vaults of Tether. What is changing right now that more players are starting to offer the opportunity to benefit from this yield on chain. Which are the players? Because we have to define that there are at least three different ways, or maybe even four, to start earning yield, and they are provided to different kind of customers. First of all, we have institutions, and I want to share with you this interesting chart here. This is tokenized treasury. This is coming from real world assets, so RWA.xyz. Don't worry, I will also leave the link to this tool into the description below. And as you can see, look at how it is increasing the adoption of tokenized treasuries bond. The point is that not so many people are talking about that, or at least they are just starting right now, mainly because until a couple of months ago, most of these services were just targeting the institutions, corporates, and so on. Why? Because if you check here, for example, you have Ondo, Matrixport, Maple, and so on. All of these are companies that are having among their clients big institutions. For example, I was talking with the team of Matrixport. This is a company has been started like in 2019, and they are fully crypto, but they are just dealing with institutions, companies that are having USDT and want to invest and want to earn more. So it's not about us as retailers. They are managing right now something like 4 billion, just to give you how big is the market behind the scene, because here we have seen 38 billion. Yes, but if we look even farther, we can understand that the reality is that in a more CDFI, so a centralized DeFi world, there is much more that is happening. It's just behind the scene. But even if it's just behind the scene, it is a big signal for us because it means that institutions, companies, and so on are starting to be interested into this world. And the more is their interest, I mean, interesting means their attention, putting attention and investment into the blockchain space, the better and the more the whole industry will benefit from that. I'm just talking about Matrixport because I can tell you what has been the chart that I had with them, but we can replicate the same kind of topic to any of the players that are coming out right now. We have Centrifuge, we have Ondo, Maple, big players that are offering services to institutions. If you're wondering what does it mean working with institutions, simply means that they are having a protocol like a DeFi protocol that we have seen and we are used to have on chain, but it's just for whitelisted addresses. So you have to go through a KYB or KYC process that is telling you, okay, you are allowed, you have everything that is required to start using this protocol. And in that moment, you can access also the treasury tokenized tokens, TBLs. And as you can see, this number is increasing. Soon we'll touch the $1 billion that will be on chain. So $1 billion of treasury bonds that are on chain right now paying on average about 5%. So if from one side we have this opportunity using services for institutions and corporations, the point is that not all of us are having the opportunity to be KYB or KYC in that way and to be whitelisted to start using these protocols. So what are the alternatives? Well, there are a second way that is more light KYC, let's say in this way. From one side, you can have a baked finance, for example. On the other side, you can have a swarm markets. Don't worry right now if you're wondering, yes, but this protocol, what is offering for real and so on. I will do another video going deeper into each of these different kinds of protocols. So to give you more information about Swarm, Baked Finance, Ondo, Maple, and all the protocols and so on. Right now, I want to just show you what are the alternatives. For example, when it comes to Swarm, even if you are just a KYC without any experience, there is no limitation so far. You can just KYC and you will be able to start investing into T-bills. That, as you can see also from this tool over here down, it is a T-bond for 1 year and 1 to 3 years. Here you can find the information. If you click on it, you can even find the address of the contract if you want to know more, and so on. So we say the first way is just for institution. The second way, it is more like KYC, let's say this way. The third way is if you want to invest in protocols like MakerDAO, just buying the token MKR, that is in a certain way indirectly representing the benefit of receiving the 5% from T-bills, because as you can see here, MakerDAO secures another 6 billion for treasury bill investments as Maker token is increasing and so on. What does it mean? Simply that they are investing in T-bills using their assets in the treasury. So in the moment when you are holding a token in a certain way, you are benefiting also from this yield. But there is also a way to go even farther, and that's the fourth way, that is from Spark and so on, that is using your DAI, your stablecoin, to start earning passive income. And that's something that's pretty beautiful. In this case, it is paying you around 5% of APY. There is a fifth way, that is the final one, that is called, we can use soil, that is giving you up to 14%. That's something that is insane. Or Ledgety yield, that is giving us around 7%. If you're wondering why and how it is possible to receive so much with a TBL, well, mainly because they are incentivizing, it's like farming. So using the DeFi dynamics to power up the yield of a T-bill. So from one side, you have something like a risk-free investment T-bill. On the other side, you are empowering it with a yield farming. And yes, maybe at the end, who cares, even if the token that they will give you as a reward will dump, because at least a part of your yield, it is something is coming in a more secure way. So these are the alternatives, but what are the downsides? Is it something that you can simply jump on it and just ape in because it's so safe, so beautiful, and so on? Well, it's a half true. Why? Because when it comes to these things, it's true that T-bills are pretty risk-free, even if it's not completely true, not even that thing. But on the other side, you need to check it out. What's the process that that protocol is using to generate that yield? What happens, for example, if the company fails? What happened to your yield? It's simply something that is disappearing. Is it some way insured? What is literally the regulation behind? It's something that you have to check it out. So that's the reason why don't type in, but always check the documentation. Yes, most of the protocols are working in a pretty much compliant way, and the compliance into this field when it comes to T-bills is much higher. That's also the reason why most of the protocols are requiring you KYC. For example, also in this case, Soil.co, that if I'm not wrong is on Solana. It is coming with 14%, yes, but it requires KYC. So everything is coming with pros and cons and something that is required in exchange. On the other side, be aware that the risk, the more open a protocol is, also the higher is the risk of being hacked. For example, if an asset could be traded and also claimed just by whitelisted addresses, it's much safer, because if someone that is not authorized is receiving, is for any reason hacking and using this asset, he can't claim them back. On the other side, if the secondary market is completely open, in a moment when the money has gone through and spread it across the blockchain, as we know, blockchain is pretty definitive, so we can't just take the blockchain back in order to restore the hack and the problem that has been through the blockchain. So there are different pros and cons, and what I want to highlight to you is these two were just two examples. But what I want to tell you is that, guys, T-bills on blockchain, it is a big breakthrough, a revolution that will have an impact like never before into the crypto space. But always be aware that nothing comes without risk. Guys, let me know what do you think. Let me know what is your favorite protocol when it comes to real world assets. In one of them, my next videos, I will also go through each of them, at least the main ones, in order to give you also a way to understand how they work, what are their requirements, and what is the real yield that they are offering. Let me know if you have any preference on which protocol I should check it out. And also, guys, don't forget to check out all our links into the description below from our partners, from our channels, and feel free also to ask anything on the comment section below and leave us a big thumbs up. Thank you for following us and see you soon. Bye, guys.